GTribe, and welcome to the chat 2. I am joined today by founder and president of GTribe, Angel Munoz, senior vice president of technology, Teodor Atroshenko, and joining us today, head of marketing for Esports and Pro Series, Brent Berry. Welcome, everybody.
Yay!
Welcome.
Thank you for the introduction, Alex. So, we last week we did our first chat, and I received so many great comments and messages on GTribe and actually on Facebook too, about how great it was that people got a sort of a sense of who we are as people, rather than having this sort of image of us, an online image by indirect. And so we decided to do this again. Brent agreed to come on the show this time. And of course, as everybody knows, I'm sure a lot of people that are on right now know that we'll do 3 loot drops. That we'll talk about that in a little bit during the call. So the purpose of this is not to do interviews. It's just to chat a little bit about all things that are relevant to what we do on a daily basis, the environment that we're in, life, and whatever else comes up in the process. So I want to thank Brent personally for agreeing to do this. He had to get permission from Logitech, so thanks for everybody that gave him permission to do this. And Brent and I, let's start by talking how we met. So that's travel. We'll hop on that time machine for a little bit and then come to the present. So Brent, I'll let you tell me what your recollections of that are, and then we'll start there.
Yeah, sure. Back in the day, I used to be at AMD. Still left, but still love that place. And we were. I was doing a lot in the world of gaming and esports, and that's been most of my career has been in the world of gaming. And we were really interested in engaging more with the CPL. We had competitors that were deeply embedded with that, but still, I worked at really building a relationship there, and met Angel. And even though for quite some time we were not at AMD, we were not sponsors of the CPL, still Angel and I were able to just build a relationship. I think common interest, mutual respect, and just kind of a joy of this world of gaming. So we spent a lot of time together. I tried not to get in trouble by doing too many guerrilla marketing activities at the events and all, but eventually we did end up as sponsors for CPL as well. So that was kind of the glory days of Counter-Strike 1.6.
Yeah, exactly. For those of you that we're using acronyms, so I'm sure that for those of you that do not know, the CPL was now arguably, but at the time, for those of us that were there, know that it was the first global professional esports league. And CPL stands for Cyber Athlete Professional League. We did events all over the world, had divisions all over the world. I eventually sold that CPL, but what Brent is talking about is a period of time when Intel was the primary sponsor. They were the lead sponsor, and then NVIDIA was the secondary lead sponsor. 2 companies that were in competition with AMD at the time, or still are, on the CPU side and on the GPU side. And
it really, I think it's not. People should know that CPL, Cyber Athlete Professional League, really today the thing that most mirrors that is like Intel's IEM events. They kind of learned what they learned from Angel's activities and built that into that today. So spiritually still around you.
Yeah, and of course, when we read the rules and the structures of the events and all that, all of them, there's obviously a lot of things that we implemented back then. Fast forwarding into now, I remember when you told me you were leaving AMD and you were
Yeah.
joining Logitech, a company that a lot of people um, may not know was the first company that I contacted when I launched the CPL back in 1997. And it was in summer of 1997. I didn't know who to call. And I called someone that was in um, I don't know what you call those departments where
Customer support,
customer support. Thank
technical
you,
tech
customer
support. Yeah.
tech support. Chris Pate, and at the time was working there, and so
He was just a
chatted
guy
with.
behind the desk.
Yeah,
You
he
know,
was just he was
he was just
he's just
answering support calls.
yeah, he's just supporting, but he was, he
Yeah.
called me back and we talked for a long time, and he said, "Let me see what I can do," and got us products and got us a little bit of money, and we did our, and the first event, Logitech was the first real quote unquote sponsor of that, and then of course, at one time we had over 50 sponsors, so Logitech was always sort of there. And then so you told me, "Hey, I'm joining Logitech," and I had such a great experience with that company. Um, and
Yeah. It was
I was excited for you. I really was.
yeah, it was a nerve-wracking moment. I'd been at AMD for quite a long time. And I'm originally from, well, not originally, but I've lived in Austin, or the Austin, Texas area almost my entire life. Um, and leaving Austin to head to the Bay Area, which I'd been in a couple times, but different jobs. Going out there was a really big life decision for me and my wife, moving 3 kids, moving into Oakland, different type of a city. Um, but the excitement that I had about going to Logitech, because Logitech had been this brand that was integral to gaming, back in my early career, and had really just changed directions. And they were in the process of rebuilding themselves as a gaming brand. And so for me, it felt like, getting to go and work at this iconic brand and be a part of rebuilding it. It was an opportunity that I could not pass up.
Yeah,
I'm so excited that I did it.
yeah, I remember you being very excited about it, and I came in as the party pooper, and it said, Logitech is kind of your grandfather's, peripheral company, like they've been around so long,
And
and
that
you
was
said,
one of the
well,
biggest issues.
yeah, and then you shared with me that's what we're going to address. We take gaming very seriously. And I know, Brent, by our conversations over the years, how phenomenally successful Logitech went from being, third, fourth, fifth in the market to leading almost all the markets over time. And
Yeah.
we saw it on GTribe, if you recall. A little bit later, we when we launched GTribe, um, and we were looking at in aggregate at the profiles, at the computer profiles of people. I think you remember this, Alex, that and Theodore, that the great majority of people were using other products, not Logitech, and it really took
Mm-hmm.
years to move that needle, even in our community, where most people now really use Logitech products, including not you, Alex. You got a different headset on. But as you can see, both Theodore and I, and for that matter, Brent Berry, were using their headsets. So,
Yeah. I mean, it was exciting.
Mm-hmm.
You bringing up probably one of the main issues we had to address when I first got there was the fact that our brand was like this. It was aging.
yeah.
Um, we were an iconic brand for people of my age and older. But we realized, for younger generations, we weren't really part of their consideration. That was a problem for the entire company, probably, not just in gaming. But I think we've done pat myself on the back a bit, that I think we've done a great job of revitalizing not only who we are as a gaming brand, but as a company. It's been a real transformation, and again, I mean, I've just been incredibly lucky and proud to be a part of it.
Yeah. Excuse me. And it seems like you were just showing us the new headsets, and mouse. Why don't you show those, and so people can see the transformation that you're going through from this that looks professional to a certain degree and old school to the next look that you guys are doing. So you, before the call, we were chatting, and he was showing us the mouse and the new headset.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I don't want to steal other people's thunder. This is not all, my product set, but some of that transformation, came from number one, just trying to make really the world's best gaming gear and really understand how to do that, meeting gamers' needs. Then we really moved into a period of, which is one of my main areas of trying to build, the best gear possible for the pro gamer and in esports, and a lot of really refined designs, a lot of incredibly well engineered products, things that just really met those needs. But now we've really been trying to get into really exploring the joy that comes from gaming. The motto that we all on our team live by is that life is more fun when you play, and it is. You're all here in a gaming tribe. Call. It's play is not just about gaming. Play is about engaging and socializing and learning, and it's playing video games and chess and tennis and I don't know, silly board games and all those things. From when we're children to when we're seniors, it really is a part of our lives, and so we wanted to be able to celebrate that more. And so I was showing off that like one of our designs that we have is just a lot more fun. So this is our G733, and we have this really cool blue that I like, and I changed the strap to be shinier and cooler, and we have it in lilac and black and white, and if you really get into it, we have mice that match the colors and all different kinds of really cool things. I don't want to just sit here and oversell on product, but the transformation for me is like having that kind of playful, fun stuff is just so exciting.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It means being able to kind of make your space your own. When I play games, I spend so much time just collecting, and like I don't really care if I have the best gear. I just want what I want it to look like I want it to look. So that's been really exciting, and being able to get into a place where we're celebrating play, and it's not just about hardcore gamer. It's about play, and it's about everybody.
yeah.
So that's
No,
been a
that
really exciting thing for me.
that's so interesting that you guys have used that as a theme at the at your team, Brent, because as you know, I was an investment banker for many years, and then I sold my company, and I was left with thinking, what do I do? And what I realized, and this is now I'm 33, maybe 32, 33 years old, I realized that as humans, we do better when we play.
Oh yeah.
It's just a better for us. It keeps us young, it keeps us sharp, it gets so many advantages to it. And that's what promoted in my mind what was the force that got me interested in interactive entertainment and gaming in general. Originally with the launch of Adrenaline Vault, A Vault that everybody knew it as, and then with the launch of the CPL, and then obviously
Right.
years later with the launch of Gaming Tribe. So so yeah, I think that in fact, before you join, I was talking to Alex about a game that he recommended and how I've been sucked into the vortex of this game. Um, and I told Alex, I said, I'm mad at you because you got me into this game. And I actually was up to 3 a.m. the other night, and I was like, okay, I can't do this. This is not this is not good.
Wow.
What's the name of the game, Alex?
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of GTribers are playing it.
Right.
And wow. I mean, the whole world is so interesting and so compelling. Have you played it, Brent?
I haven't. No.
it's a very interesting sort of different view of a post-apocalyptic world that I've
Right.
never quite seen before, and you just get sucked into it.
Mm-hmm.
You just you're trying to figure out a mystery at the same time. You're on quest, and this sort of the same things that you do in other games of that type.
Right.
But it's interesting because you're discovering you don't even know who you are, so you have to discover your own identity and what is why are you in this world,
Right.
and what are your ties to the past. It's really interesting, a very, very compelling game. So if anybody out there wants to be sucked into the vortex of a game, that's I would recommend that one.
Awesome.
One of the things that I have liked about our friendship, Brent, over the years is the fact um, that you never felt a necessity that you were well, let me rephrase that. You were very comfortable always with the low advertising model that we have on GTribe. You never have ever violated that or asked us to violate. Why don't you comment a little bit I know it's kind of like fishing for compliments a little bit, but it's really honestly not meant that way. I just want your honest opinions of why that was something that attracted you and Logitech to the GTribe environment.
Well, I can tell you, number one, I guess, a little bit about myself in that, and then really just kind of a belief in marketing. And I'll start with it with myself. There's a book that kind of described this really well, and of course I'm flubbing on the name, but it's by Gibson. I think it's The Agency or one of that series. But it's this, anyways, it's this female protagonist, and she is a brand marketer, marketing kind of professional. But she has what she describes as a brand allergy. And she's deathly afraid and has this horrible reaction to the Michelin Man. And I totally related to that. When things are over branded and thrown in my face, I react very negatively. I don't like being over branded. I don't really like wearing brands on clothes, which putting on representing my company is a little different. But I'm just not um, a person that likes brands being thrown at me. So I really do like, number one, like with Logitech, we do try to have more subtle brand cues and call outs and things. But that's a big part of kind of me that then kind of leads into my own marketing beliefs. But not to sound completely and totally cliche, because at least in the world of marketing, this is the biggest cliche. Is you have to be authentic. And most people who say that, it really is a bunch of BS. They're trying to figure out how to fake their authenticity. And at least in the world of gaming, we have always said, and this goes across companies for me, and whenever I'm talking to people about how to market in gaming, is that if you are a snake oil salesman or you are, just full of BS, that the first community that's going to call you out and eject you is the gaming community. And it's always kind of been like that. There've been. Uh, I'm not exactly a political expert, and hopefully we're not talking politics, but astroturfing really, really kicked off in the world of gaming, and the shills and all of the things that you see that are kind of this negative piece of a lot of social these days come out of a lot of my experience with in the world of gaming, where really fake brand messages tried to infiltrate the space. So for me, in order to really feel like I'm doing a job that I want to do, it has to be truly authentic. Um, and that's a big thing that I really love with Gaming Tribe. Um, it is not fake position purchased media. You get with how you engage. And that is it's really simple and it's really true, and at least for somebody like me, it doesn't make me uncomfortable and want to run away from something because it's it feels real. So I mean that's part of it for me.
Yeah,
I
that
like
can.
that model. I like
Mm.
true engagement. There's a lot of companies that do that, that they engage really, really well, and they're respectful of their audiences, and they just become part of it. And that's where I want us to be as well.
Right. Yeah. No, that was the the uh, the 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 principle behind even mass luminosity before GTribe. So authenticity was, um, like you say, it's a word that's thrown around a lot now. But that was what I wanted. Ultimately, Brent, we are all charged with one responsibility, and that is that we have to live our lives. And
Yeah, so true.
why complicate that process with
Right.
with machinations and behind closed doors planning? We're very transparent as a company, for good or bad, sometimes for bad, and we really seek for people to understand that the community is built by everyone. It's not me, it's not Theodore, it's not Alex, it's not anyone, it's all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
I find it to be, quite frankly, the last bastion left in social media of true respect to the individual from a privacy and security perspective, and the one place where people come to decompress after experiencing the vitriol and the taxing negativity that permeates all other social media, from Reddit all the way down to Facebook. And that is very refreshing. I live on GTribe, so I'm a citizen of the community that we've built. And it's
Right.
so rare to see someone cross those lines. And
Mm-hmm.
Logitech just fits perfectly in that, because that is the spirit, that is sort of the DNA of the company. I know that as a fact because, as we were saying earlier, I've been uh, in a corporate relationship with Logitech for 20 some odd years. So I know the DNA very well, and I know that what you see is what you get, and that's very interesting. Um, One of the things that I'm always puzzled about is how well you speak Spanish. I mean, I remember one time. Um, this is I don't know if you remember this, but I'm sure it'll trigger your memory. Um, um, I flew in to meet you at the Logitech headquarters when you were still living there. I mean, living in California, not at the headquarters. And we met there, and we were in the reception area, and I greeted you in Spanish, and you speak almost without an accent, I would say, quite perfect. You understand it perfectly, and you speak Spanish very well. And then um, maybe a month later or so, you and I were on the phone chatting, and you told me, that incident where we met, where we spoke in Spanish, that receptionist never had spoken to me. She happened to be Hispanic. And when she realized I spoke Spanish, she became very nice. So, do you remember that incident? It was a long
Yeah,
time
yeah. I
ago.
remember us. I remember us chatting. Yeah, I mean, my wife is from Mexico, and so our day to day life is probably 50-50 English Spanish. We
Mhm.
flip back and forth, much to I'm sure many people's frustration, between languages all the time, if not every other sentence, sometimes every other word. But yeah, it's. I was lucky that I spent a lot of time in Latin America growing up, and so uh, have the language. I also spent a lot
Mhm.
of time. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I did spend a lot of time studying poetry and watching shows and listening to music and forcing myself into the language to immerse, because that's a good way to learn.
Mhm.
Um, but it's great having another language. Is if anybody doesn't speak two languages or three languages or whatever, it really is mind. opening.
Mm.
If nothing else, just having different words to describe situations. But each language also has its own feeling and culture attached to it. So
Yeah, no, I resemble that remark. So, and so, as I mentioned in the last chat, both Theodore and Alex were born in Moscow. So, Russian is, I think Alex learned Russian before he learned English. Right? Is that correct, Alex? Or you were brought to the U.S. young enough that you?
I was brought to the U.S. when I was 2.
Oh, so you grew up
So
hearing
I grew
Russian.
I grew up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up
Yeah.
hearing it.
And then Theodore, what age did you move to Portugal? So Theodore has the advantage. He speaks Portuguese, understands Spanish, speaks Russian, and what else? Portuguese, Russian,
Portuguese,
English.
Russian, English. Yes, English. So I moved here when I was 11, and been here ever since. It's yeah, I mean, English was easier to learn than Portuguese, that's for sure.
Yeah,
But,
I'm sure.
I've tried.
Me too.
So I have
Me too.
really bad Portuguese. When I travel with people into Brazil, which I'm down there occasionally for work, people are always people who don't speak Portuguese are impressed by my Portuguese, and I just kind of laugh because I'm usually not speaking Portuguese. I'm just the
Kind of
words that
speaking
I
of
know,
Spanish
I'll use it
with the
but
sh sound.
yeah, it's it's called Portuñol, and it actually functions between English and Spanish to speak Portuñol. But yeah, it's a really hard language. I can get a sentence out in Portuguese, and then my brain just switches to Spanish, and then I'll speak Spanish with a Portuguese accent, and nobody can understand me. So,
Theodore, did the first drop go, or is it dropping?
Yes, we did. We did have the first drop, and let me just double check who the winner was. Yeah, congratulations to whoever it is. Well,
so they accepted the prize.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I guess we should explain how this works, right? A little bit.
Yes, so I don't think we've ever had the person reject the prize.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Not for the loot.
Once.
Had we?
Yeah, once. Yeah, a person had whatever the product was.
Okay.
It was cool. It was not a loot drop. It was a spinner.
Spinner.
And and then what happens is when they reject the prize, the next person, I think it is that how the logic works? The next person to spin automatically wins. So the shortcut that instead
of the spinner's hot.
Yeah, the spinner is hot, ready to go, and whoever spins it gets it. If somebody actually rejects the prize.
That's awesome. That's a great attitude.
Yeah. The spinner is what we're doing for you next week. It's so popular. People love the spinner. They get angry at us, by the way, Brent, because it's on our app only. And people, they have a natural aversion to apps because people understand that they're spying type of software mostly, but we don't do that. We don't turn on location services. We don't do any of that stuff. Or people are real jealous of their space on how they have their phone, and I don't want to add something else. But it's fun. I spin. I can't win, but I still spin. So you have to see it. It's a little bit like it feels a little bit like a slot machine.
Cool.
So I have to show it to you. So you hit spin and you see the things, and then if you get the same of whatever the product, or in your case probably it'll be the Logitech logo, and you get 3 of the same, you're an automatic instant winner. Cool. So it really is very cool. So I think the first day that we launched this spinner, the one that we have going on right now for Seasonic, we had 30,000 spins, was it, or no, it was less than that. It was less. You corrected that number later, Teodor.
Slightly less, but it was around that amount, yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, people they get up in the middle of the night because it's every 6 hours.
Oh, okay.
So they get up in the middle of the night, they spin. Pure addiction, by the way.
Yeah, they called it, someone in chat said they called it a tool for giving someone a mini heart attack.
Yes, when you get the so a lot of people post that. Okay, so there's slots, right? The first one, let's say it's the Logitech logo. The second one is a Logitech logo, and a lot of people, they're just and then they see the Logitech logo go by, and then poop, and it passes, and they're like, "Oh man, I almost had it." So it's fun. It's one of the most fun ways that we do for our promotions. So yeah. So anyway, do we know who won, Theodore?
Yep, we know it's Christian Durla from Romania. Congratulations to
Romania.
him.
Wow,
Oh,
great. You see?
congratulations.
So you see, guys, I'm just gonna say, for those of you out there saying that only people in the U.S. and Canada can win, that's insanity. We are one community. So it's a little bit more difficult for Brent to ship things there. They
Yeah, that's
always
fine.
go through all kinds of different. They have to ship it through Europe or whatever it is. So it takes a
Oh
little
yeah,
longer, but you will get your prices. So
yeah. We'll
that's
ship it through Europe.
one thing I really like about Logitech. And is she still there? What's the name of the person that manages the shipping for you?
Paige, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
she's
God,
there.
she's fantastic, Brent. She needs
Yeah,
a
she,
raise.
yeah, absolutely. She actually manages our program called Pro Alliance, which is a program that we use to work directly with pro players, regardless of sponsorships or anything. There's like zero obligation if they just want to engage with us and they're from a pro league, like a recognized pro league. Then
Hmm.
we try to work with them and support them. So she manages that
Oh,
for
that's a
us. So
great idea, Brent.
yeah,
I
she has
have
to
to
Nice.
commend
engage
you
with
on that.
yeah, she knows all the tricks, and I don't think Romania is a hard place to ship.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's pretty adjacent for EU market. So
Well, congratulations to the winner.
Yeah.
I will say for everyone that's listening that you have to. We don't confirm your address anymore. We ship only to the address that's on your profile. So make sure we send all kinds of emails and reminders that that is the address, right, Alex?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're going to ship. So that's what we're going to send. Once all the prices are we don't ship before all the prices are we've given them away, and then Brent knows the process. We will send Brent and Paige the names, addresses, and telephone number just in case they need it for each of the winners, and then Paige takes it from there and makes sure that, and she's really really good at it. So um, once in a while we'll run into something that she has some difficulty sending something, but and a lot of people think it's on purpose, or it's sometimes it's very difficult to ship to some other countries. In fact, I saw that one of the winners of the Seasonic PSU is from South Africa. So it doesn't really matter, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bring that to. We do have more people in the United States and Canada combined, as far as percentage wise at GTribe and that participate in the giveaways than other countries. So that's why you see a little bit of a bias, let's call, to those two countries. But it has nothing to do with us not wanting to ship outside of the U.S. So I just want to clarify that for the 100th time over the years, right, Alex?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, especially now with COVID, things can take much longer to get to somebody too.
they
Alex,
can. Yep.
yeah. So that's a very good point. So we need to be aware of the difficulties there are around the world to get things shipped. So
Well, and if anybody else company is like ours, we our distribution centers are not Amazon. We're used to fulfilling like larger bulk orders from resellers and stuff. So the timing is a little bit different.
mhm.
We don't do things overnight. So it does take a little bit, but we'll get it out for sure.
Thank you, Brent. Thank you for
Mm-hmm.
saying that. Before the call, before we started this call, Alex, you and I were talking about the shareholders meeting for Mass Luminosity last year,
Mm-hmm.
and the conversation that you were having with Brent Barry and all that, and what strong impression you had about him. Do you remember and I'm not fishing for compliments now for Brent, but what impression did you have of him as a representative of a corporation like Logitech?
Well, for me, it's just because Brent. When you talk to Brent, he's approachable. He's just down to earth, and it was like talking to Brent was like talking to a good friend. It was just it didn't feel it was like wasn't like, oh, this is Brent from Logitech, and ooh, it didn't feel like sometimes somebody might feel nervous talking to somebody on that level from another company, especially when you have a relationship with that company in some form or another. But I think we talked, myself and Tim. I think Chris was there too. I think we talked with Brent, I think, for about an hour or so.
Yeah,
About
we had a
everything.
good.
Talking about just Logitech stuff, esports, all sorts of things. It was great.
Yeah,
That
Brent,
was fun.
I need my commission because you wouldn't have your job at Esports if it wasn't for me. I need to start. Yeah, I'll take checks, by the way. You can start sending them. Now,
But that's something. It was a memorable conversation. It was
Good.
just great. We just just the whole thing. It was just like I said. I was just talking to a good friend.
yeah.
Well, I loved
So,
getting to meet you guys, so I appreciate that you guys enjoyed it as well. It was a great event,
It was.
and I loved the fact that you guys were there and we were able to just to sit back and chat. I mean, I
yeah,
love this
chat.
stuff, so
Mhm.
for me, it's it's fun.
Mhm.
It's kind of my entertainment as well as my job, so I appreciate
Mhm.
that. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
it's incredible when you get um, to love what you do for a living.
Oh yeah,
Was it
Mhm.
Confucius that said, "Find a job that you love, and you'll never work another day in your life"?
I don't know if
So,
Confucius said that, but
yeah,
maybe
someone did.
Somebody
we're gonna have
did.
to
Some Asian
fact
guy.
check. Whoever
So,
said that, yeah, no, they're they're
That's
totally
true.
right.
Alex, do a check. See who said that. Now I've been challenged to my memory here. As the senior on this call, I'm starting to
I
slip.
can confirm that Angel said that for sure.
That's funny. Um, uh, so, Brent, I like talking about a little bit about the bold move. You make it always when you tell the story, you make it sound so, you know, trivial, but it wasn't trivial at all. You're working for a high tech company, Silicon Valley, obviously, company, Logitech. You moved your family to that area. You worked years there. And the reasons why you moved are not consequential to the conversation, but I always found it. I admired when you told me that you were willing to risk everything to make sure that you got a little bit of sense of order in your life because your family was the most important thing. And for those that don't know, Brent moved back to the outskirts of Austin and actually has a farm. He lives on a farm. And when I
Huh?
went to visit him, he had, sheep, and I mean, it was amazing. So talk a little bit about that, like whole entire experience and chickens. Do you guys have chickens now? You were
Oh
talking about
yeah,
getting them. So you're
yeah,
eating
no,
the eggs, your eggs from
yeah,
your
yeah,
hens. Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah, no, we have 15 plus chickens. We had a herd of sheep. We had a herd of goats. Now we have two baby goats that we still have, and the
Mhm.
rest were moved to another place. But um, yeah, no, so we were in Oakland, California, and I was commuting down to the Logitech office, which is in Newark, which is about halfway between Oakland and San Jose.
Hmm.
And it was, it was a. I'm sure there are plenty of people that have worse commutes, but it was not a fun commute. Um, but I mean, I put a lot of hours into work, and I love what I do. But I definitely was not getting enough time with my family. We were also, I mentioned, my wife is from Mexico, and so we were much further away from where her family are near the Texas, U.S., Mexico, Texas area. She's from Nuevo Leon. And so we were really far from her family. We were far from my family, from our friends, from everybody. So after a couple of years, it really started taking a bit of a toll. So we wanted to get back. Yeah, I mean, the real scary part was really loving what I did and knowing that I needed to move personally just for my family and life. Luckily, working with Logitech, they were incredibly respectful of that and worked with me to make the transition. So what was a terrifying moment became a moment of a lot of trust and feeling really supported through the company. And yeah, I've been back in the Austin area. She's 4 years, over 4 years now, and yeah, I mean, we always wanted to have a little piece of land and kind of find that serenity. So yeah, that's where we are. I think we Angel broke out laughing one day when we were on a call, and in the middle of the call, he heard a sheep bleating.
Right outside your window. and here's the best part, Brent. You go, wait a I need to go and attend to the sheep. I thought it was, I can't tell you how impressive it was for me, Brent, to see you do something like that. It speaks to the obsessive nature that some people have about their jobs and about, and I remember, and I mean, you're such a well balanced person that you just don't ever remember kind of the negative. But I remember in the beginning, you felt very challenged that you were the one person that was not working at the office, and everything had to be done through the same kind of formats that we're using right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's yeah. I mean, that it's not easy, and I think everybody is learning now that it can be a little difficult to work remote. I mean, Gaming Tribe and Mass Luminosity and everybody, you guys are a fully global, very dispersed company, and so you deal with the same things. But it can be difficult.
yeah,
And
so,
have
I think
you have to take extra effort to
right.
build those
hmm
relationships. But I
I
mean,
think yeah,
pre-pandemic, I traveled a lot,
mhm.
so I was in our office quite a bit.
No, I was just going to interject with the fact that I wouldn't have it any other way now, Brent. Mass Luminosity will celebrate its 10th year, and we have always been virtual. And, we all work, as you can see, Theodore is in Portugal. Alex is in Silicon Valley.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Brent, you're in your farm in Austin. I'm at home in Dallas. And this is a much better, more relaxed way for me to work. Um, but it takes a particular person to thrive in this type of environment. A person that doesn't require a lot of supervision, a person that's kind of a starter and a leader, and that wants to, that has that immerses himself into the DNA of our company and feels that sense of mission that we have. I mean, in our one of the things that we say constantly, you have your little model that you're using, or not little, but a strong model, and ours is we are in the business of helping people, period. And that's the beacon is an expression of that. So it's just one of those things that we feel very strongly about. And so in our corporate structure, we're always thinking, how can we make the experience better for the people who trust us and invest time in our, either on our social network or on our new platform that we
Right,
think is much better than the competition. So in a lot of more
right.
different ways. So is there another loot drop, Theodore?
Yep, we did have a loot drop just
Oh my
a
God, another one.
minute ago.
Yay.
So the winner is, and I hope I'm gonna get the name right here, is Ferdinand Bredish or Bradish
British,
from
British
United States.
from the United States. Okay. Alex, if anybody has any questions, because we got another about 12
Mm-hmm.
minutes,
Yeah.
and this is a good time if they have anything. I will clarify that Brent Berry will not speak about financials. Logitech is a publicly traded company. If you want to know their financials, go online, Google Logitech or future products. He's bound by non-disclosure agreements not to disclose products that are coming. But I had a suggestion for him, and I saw that they filed a patent on the product, but I'm not going to talk about it, which I was pretty excited about. So, in fact, Theodore and I did that. We were looking through the patents that you were filing. Logitech was filing, Brent, and to try to predict what you'll have 2 or 3 years down the line. And it's pretty.
Okay.
You filed some pretty damn interesting patents, by the way. So, any questions, Alex?
I am looking through them.
Is it moving too fast for you? Do you slow down the feed again? Or...
Let's see.
So let me while we're waiting. So somebody indicated that they couldn't log into Twitch. Theodore, do you have any recommendations on that?
Yeah. So there are kind of 2 ways you can go about that. So you can either try to open it in a different browser and log in there, or you can try to cycle the Twitch login. So you log out of Twitch and then you log in through the chat page, and that's going to guarantee that Twitch recognizes your login. And because there could be a situation where you're logged in when you go to Twitch, but you're not logged in the embedded player.
So I know that a lot of people get very frustrated with that. So you have to. One of the things that I urge you to understand is that we don't know of any other company in the world that actually, and maybe they are now, but I don't know of any that actually you can embed Twitch streams into the feed, and that's what we're doing on that page. So I'm sure that Twitch doesn't make that easy. So
and just to clarify, you need not be logged into Twitch to be eligible for a loot drop. It's just the GTribe that
that's
that
a great.
counts. Yeah.
Thank you,
Only
Theodore.
if you want to chat, then you'll have to.
Yeah,
be
as long as
message.
you're on the page and log into GTribe, that's all you need to be. But a lot of people want to see be able to participate in the chat, in the Twitch chat. So what we did is we do stacking, Brent. It's part of our kind of our protocol where so what's happening here is we are Beacon, as you know, and this is we have to clarify that there's lots of loose definitions of what end-to-end encryption is now. There's some confusion that was inserted into the marketplace by Zoom, and they've gotten lots of criticism about that. And they're now, I have to commend them. They're my opponent, but not my enemy. And I have to commend them that they got the message clear, and they're trying now. They're in their first stage of trying to implement true end-to-end encryption, although loosely defined by them, by the way. But we have true end-to-end encryption. And what it means is that all 4 of us are exchanged keys at the beginning of the call to make the connections that are encrypted. And then each of us are talking on an encrypted platform, including if we had file transfers, they will be encrypted. And so we don't have a server in between that where the keys reside, and then you encrypt your call to the server, which decrypts it momentarily, and then encrypts it on the way back to you, so you can decrypt it on your end. That moment, milliseconds maybe, allows for keyword searches, for all kinds of things that are a thing that I'm very much against. I think people deserve privacy. And then also Theodore, when he took very seriously the premise of this is a kind of a model for Beacon. There is no privacy without security. So not only do we have the normal 2FA, two-factor authentication, which is the text message that you when you log out of Beacon and you log back in, it confirms. But you can do biometric. What are the other one is the USB key? Am I forgetting one? I think there's 4, right?
So you have the standards, like you mentioned, with the text message and the authenticator app, and then the more advanced ones is if you have a hardware token, such as like this one.
Okay,
And
tell us a little bit about that. What is that?
So this one is YubiKey. It's made by Yubico, and it's dual. So it's NFC and USB token that you can plug into your computer, and it has a secure module on board, and then that's where all the keys are stored. And for all practical purposes, even though this is closed source, but there are other open source alternatives that you can check the code to make sure it's not possible to extract the keys once they're stored in there. But the bottom line is, once the key goes on there or is generated on it, no one can read it. So it's physically present here, and there's just no way anyone is going to get their hands on it.
That's great.
And then once you plug it in, you tap on it, and then it exchanges some details with the computer, and then you can log into any service that supports it. Or as well, it has NFC, so I can tap it on my phone or the phone on top of it. Depends on where the reader is. And then it's going to get you in basically through the same protocol.
And Beacon supports that, is what you're saying.
Yep, that's right.
And then we have the biometric too, right?
And we have the biometric. So if your system has infrared camera, let's say, or fingerprint scanner, then it's going to make use of that to.
Well, my wife is upset. She says that she's not going to do it until there's a retinal scanner. She wants the Beacon retinal scanner. Anyway, so we're getting close to the end. Alex, anything from the community?
So Barry's asking, when is Logitech going to produce a left-handed gaming mouse?
There are ambidextrous.
That's so I'll answer the big question that's there is like, why aren't there more left-handed gaming mice? And unfortunately, this might not be the line for Logitech, but number one, it is a really hard thing to do when you're building a mass product to adjust it. But what we do, for example, the Logitech G Pro wireless mouse, it's an ambidextrous mouse, but it has mouse buttons that are removable, and it has a cover. Yeah, and has a cover. No, that's one of ours. But so there's 2 of them that do this. They have buttons that are on both sides that you can actually remove and cover with something else. So if you want your mouse to be left-handed, you just remove those right-hand side buttons, cover them. They don't exist anymore, and you have your left-hand side buttons for you, or the right-hand side buttons. I just did that reverse. That is full-on right-hand thinking right there. But we do have products that accommodate for left-hand. But yeah, the majority of our products are right-hand. And just to be straightforward, I don't think we on the gaming side, we don't have a plan for a left-handed only product. But we will continue to do more ambidextrous that help support all you lefties.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool answer. Thank you. Very politically correct. You did well under pressure. Any other questions, Alex?
Yeah. This one is a good one for Brent here. Don't Call Me Ass. He said, I know there's been a bit of argument over the years about wireless versus wired. Which side, if either of that argument, do you fall on?
Wait, on what product? On general?
On everything.
On just
everything, yeah.
Wireless versus wired.
I know where I fall.
Yeah. So I fall, heavily on the side of wireless. For example, with a wired headset, I couldn't just get up and walk around my house and still be connected. With a wireless mouse, I don't have anything dragging on the mouse. I don't have anything. There's no limitation. I'm not going to talk about this product, but somebody internally was insistent on putting a range for a mouse, like what's the range of the wireless. And so I had one of my kids sit at my computer while I walked all over the place, screaming out, is it moving? Is it still working? And finally hit a range that I was like, okay, it's call it 20 meters. I'm not going any further. But the question really isn't about which is when everything works perfect, which is better, because wireless really is just better. It's free. The big question for wired and wireless really has always been how bad wireless has been in the past. It wasn't well engineered. It wasn't made to be low latency and ready for gaming. So you'd buy a new computer, a new laptop from some corporation, and they'd give you a wireless mouse, and it was terrible for gaming because the latency was just so high. Kind of like Bluetooth. I mean, Bluetooth is awesome for day-to-day use, but if you try to game with a Bluetooth device, you're just going to be behind the ball. I mean, you might as well be like on satellite internet because it's going to be so slow. What we've done, though, and I'll say this with some confidence, that Logitech has really revolutionized the wireless gaming world.
I think so too. With
Other companies now are coming into the space who have engineered and innovated to match what we've been doing. But the latency of our wireless products for gaming are at the level or better than a wired product.
Yeah.
Now, some people are like, "That's impossible." It's actually not. And our engineer, one of our main engineers, who's an absolute genius, Francois, in our Swiss office, kind of explains it pretty fast. Like, if something is traveling through air or through a wire, why would you think the thing going through a wire is going to move faster than the thing moving through air? And so we've massively reduced latency. Then the other piece was, the dang batteries are always running out, and I always have to charge it, and I can't drop in the middle of a game and all of that. Well, our latest mice are for gaming, super high-end, top-level accuracy, performance, all that, are 50 hours, 60 hours of battery life. Our headset, 30, I believe, is don't hold me to that one, but I think it's 30 hours.
I think it is, yeah.
So, I'm fully wireless, keyboard, mouse, headset. I plug everything in maybe once every 2 days or so when I leave my desk, if I remember to. If something does give me a low charge notification, I plug it in for a bit while I'm doing something else, and it's fine. There's no issues that are present. So we've solved the wireless problem. If somebody is on the wired is better side of the debate, really the only rational reason to be there is because the product you love the most is only available in a wired format. So,
or a poor wireless implementation.
Sure. And no knocking anybody who likes their wires. That's fine. And some headset configurations, if you're like super pro audio things, sometimes you have to wire that. But it really is, if you haven't tried a lot of our latest wireless technology, you can get it at, even our lower end, and by lower end, I mean on the price scale, not quality. Our lower priced products that are wireless still have the same technology, and they're amazing. So
thank you. Couple of things. Derek Beaupre, it's obviously French. So I'm sorry, Derek, says that I was right. Confucius is the one that said that. So there you go,
serious?
Brent. Yes.
Oh.
Yep, Confucius.
So you see, I'm not slipping. Let's do the. Go ahead, Brent.
Confucius did not speak modern English, so
that's right. He didn't say that.
No, that's awesome. That's
true.
Crazy. I didn't know that actually was a Confucian saying.
So thank you, Derek, and Kimberly Weatherby also messaged me about that. I need a cigar in a leather chair. Thank you. That made me laugh. So anyway, let's do the last 1 second, Alex. Let's do the last loot drop. Did we have a winner?
We are still waiting
Okay, it's in
for
the
it to
process.
pick
Okay, go ahead,
the
Alex.
winner.
Oh no,
Okay.
I was just saying that's absolutely true. You do need you do need an executive chair.
No, I like my chair. I like it. I get to rock back and forth, not back and forth, but round, and it works really well because I spin while I'm working. So I'm, one of the things about me is that I refuse to polarize myself into one side of anything. I use multiple browsers. In fact, I have 3 different browsers open right now on my desktop. And I work well in the PC world and in the Mac world. For me, it doesn't make a difference. PC is much better of a lot of things. And then the Mac does a lot of things very well also. So I work back and forth like that. And there's things I do on the Mac and there's things I do on my PC. So I want to thank, before we announce our winner, our last winner. I want to thank Brent Berry for taking the time to chat with us. Like I said, this is an informal chat.
Hey,
Lots of great,
Thank you.
yeah,
thanks
lots of great
for having
information.
me.
Yeah, no, it's been.
I
Go ahead,
love
Brent.
talking about this stuff. I'm really honored that you guys thought to invite me. So thank you.
You're our first guest. You're our
Hey.
first guest.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
thank you so much, Brent. I appreciate it. Alex, anything else from the audience before we announce the last loot drop winner?
Just someone was asking about, and I don't know if you have any insight on it. Is Logitech G is going to come out with any new controllers?
Like console controllers.
Yeah, kind of
and,
like the game pads and whatnot.
well, we have we have an entire side of our business that is simulation. And we have wheels and flight sticks and farm simulator controllers, and I mean there is some serious level of geekery that we do. If you want, to build your dream cockpit or car setup or whatever, we have those. We also, Astro is a brand that is part of the Logitech family, and Astro has a super high end, really cool controller, like all customizable and everything. That's a really cool product that's available. But we don't currently have a newish like PC typical controller. I believe that the controller that we've made for a long time might still be available.
Like the F310, I think it is.
Yeah, the F310 is still out there, but there's a lot of stuff that we have. But if you're looking for a Logitech, like a product of Logitech's quality, for a controller like that, like a console style controller, then the Astro controller is the one to look at.
It's I think it's the C40. Angel and I were talking about it not that long ago too.
Yep, it's the C40.
Anyway, well, thank you. Theodore, go ahead and announce the last winner.
Well, the holdup is actually a sad story here. Someone did not claim the loot. Someone left their device running, and it timed out.
Okay. So it's going to run again for someone else?
Yes. So it is running for someone else, and that person is not paying attention for sure.
Pay attention. What are you doing?
Look at your device.
Yeah,
Look at it.
Yeah. Well, you know what's happening also, Theodore, is a lot of people have, I see in the comments that people are at work and all that, and they set up like a little radio station, so they're only listening to us on their mobile devices. So that could be part of the issue. But if you have a moment to go ahead and Derek Bupre, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, send me the quote in Chinese. Thank you, Derek.
All right, let's hear your Chinese.
Man, he has my back. I like Derek. Anyway, Theodore, let me know. Let us know. We don't want to end the call until we have that winner.
Yep, we will announce the winner. So that person is not. What are they doing?
All right. Well, if it times out, just
If it times out, they'll be in the next draw, and then yeah. So now I see the chat is really active. So I guess
everybody's out.
everybody else is waiting for the timeout.
Yeah. So you need to remember that you need to be on the gamingtribe.com/the chat. On that page, you need to be logged into GTribe, and you do not need to be logged into Twitch. So we're using Twitch, and just as like I was explaining earlier, we stacked Beacon on top of Twitch, so we're using Twitch just for the streaming portion. The interactive portion is on Beacon. So
so I'll add that there is a lot of it is a lot of comments about how much people love Logitech gear, and how long the wireless batteries, the wireless lasts. One person's talking about the keyboard, that they haven't had it go dead on them gaming yet. So
once in a while, it's my responsibility, I see, to Brent, to tell him both sides of the story, right? When they do things right. I love the products. They have. So for those of us that are old enough to have used the original IBM mechanical keyboards that weighed like 10 pounds, I still have one, by the way. Next time I'll show it. That kind of sort of durability. I think my keyboard is from the 80s and it's still functional. I could still plug it in, and I obviously have to have a converter, but it can plug in now to a USB. And that's kind of the thing that attracts me about Logitech. It's sort of the quality that they put into it. You could tell it's a Swiss company, very fastidious about the details and all that. But on the opposite side, I also see people that they break their mouse or all that, and they get very upset about the product. But when they show pictures of it, you could see that they really hammered that product to death. So, there is that. And then I did alert Brent about they're trying to do a better job when it comes to customer service, and make sure that and if you have a problem with customer service and as a GTriber, make sure you contact Alex, and Alex will pin Brent quietly behind the scenes to see if there's anything that can be done. Not on a don't make this a I don't want to get 1,000 of these, but just let us know on a positive way. Don't frame it in a negative. I don't like that. Just in a positive way. Hey, can you help with this? And we've already done that. Brent and I have taken care of several instances over the years where we thought that for a GTriber, we could do a better job. All right, Teodor, do we have it? Whoa.
Nope.
Wow, people are not paying attention. Keep on. Drop it again. Keep on dropping. Teodor, press that drop button.
Somebody missing out.
Drop.
Yeah, press the drop button. Keep on dropping. So pay attention to your screen. I think you hear, we talked about this last time, if you should hear the music playing if you're on, well, that's interesting. I don't know what happens on a mobile device.
It used to be consistent, but now, since all browsers are preventing any music from playing unless you click on something, there's a good chance you're not going to notice. It's a red screen that completely covers everything so in your field of vision. So it's not like you can miss it if you're looking at it. But yeah,
so look at your screens. Look at Alex. He was looking at his screen just in case he won. Look at your screen, and if it doesn't happen in the next minute, we're going to end the call, and then you guys stay on GTribe, and then you'll see the loot drop. So let's give it a couple more minutes. Alex, anything else?
Well, I will note that my very first Logitech product was a TrackMan Marble.
Oh, mine too. Mine too. I love that. I love that mouse.
That
with the red. Was it with the red ball?
Yeah, it was the white with the red ball.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, those are classics. Absolute classics.
It wasn't for gaming. That wasn't a gaming mouse, but it was.
You'll be amazed at how many people.
I used it as a gaming mouse.
I used it for gaming too.
I used it for, but not. It wasn't like the pros. This is in the early days of the CPL. They look at me and they're like, "Oh my God, you're definitely not pro using that." So because
Hey,
it was
whatever.
thumb action. Remember, it's
Yeah.
the bowl is on the thumb.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever
So, yeah.
works for you. You know,
Yeah.
not everybody has to do what the pros do.
Right, exactly.
I love that mouse. I use it for all my gaming stuff back then.
So people know what you're talking about. Yep, we got it.
A person was paying attention.
Yay!
Yep.
Who is it?
Congratulations, Robert Pitts from United
Oh,
States.
Robert. Yeah, great. Okay, great.
Nice.
Alrighty.
Instantly. You just click the as soon as it appeared. Click right away.
Yeah, it's like I ain't missing that.
Alrighty. Okay, so we'll end the stream here. Thank
Okay.
you again, Brent. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Teodor,
Yeah.
for joining us. This was fun, and I enjoy having these kind of open conversations where the community can be part of how this is not unusual about the way that Brent and I talk. So this is our normal conversation tone. So as he can confirm. Alrighty.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Absolutely.
Alex.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks,
everybody.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and congratulations to all the winners. Thank you to everybody who subscribed. Thank you to everybody who dropped gift subs. We appreciate it. And until next time, have a great day, have a great weekend, and stay safe and healthy.
Thank you, Alex. Take care.